It's official. We are live on the RTF Sports Network. The RTF Sports Network just said I should not wear a hat. Bald is beautiful. Answered our poll question to start off the live show. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, you will see that the beautiful glare coming off of my scalp. I actually shaved it yesterday, so we got a little bit of stubble coming back. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, a little bit of stubble there, but oh no. This does not make for good radio, but we're gonna get through it regardless. So welcome to the live show, all 11 eyeballs that we have currently tuned on. Make sure you share and subscribe and follow and like everything. And Derf will tell you exactly where you can do all of those.
You can find On and Off the Field and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure to check our YouTube channel where you can watch the live show right now, as well as past live shows and uncut episodes along with great content. Make sure to head over to onandoffthefield.com to learn more about the show, as well as where you can find our episodes and charities that we are involved in. Make sure to rate and review the show on iTunes so we know how we are doing and what you like and dislike about the dislike about the show. So not just rate, make sure you review it so we get some of that good feedback from you guys.
And we actually did get a new review today.
Really?
Yeah, I'll pull it up real quick while you finish up this little session right here. Let me pull up our new review.
So also head over to rtfsportsnetwork.com where you can catch On and Off the Field on our live show on Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our recorded show is now on Fridays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And while you're on the network, make sure to check out all the great blogs that our writers on the network have written, because there's really some really good content out there. So get reading.
The blogs are really good, and they just keep coming. As we turn to the comment section real quick, Michael Holmes is already coming in here. This is a downward spiral, giving him a contract that big. Him being, I assume, the one and only Patrick Mahomes. Now all NFL contracts are going to get stupidly out of control. It has all started with Albert going to the Angels. Oh, excuse me. And look at all the 10-year contracts popping up now. Yeah, it's well, we're definitely going to talk about that a lot tonight, and the fact that it's finally this level of contract has finally hit the NFL. Like, this is something you would see out of baseball. And let's be perfectly clear: we have never seen a contract like this in any sport.
Right.
This is $500 million that has gone to Patrick Mahomes over. Well, if you can even be more. So if you want to count the extra 2 years, it goes upwards of $530 or $1 million for the next 12 years. I think is the proper amount. Another comment from Michael: now that they have paid him all that money, Casey will end up like the Panthers, giving all the cash to Cam and didn't have any left for the rest of the team, which I have a thought on as well. And we'll see where that we're going to talk about all this tonight. We're also going to have more beer drinking. We got the comments flowing between Michael Buckheister and Brandon Combs. It is it's getting heated in here. And Michael says it is only $40 million per year. I don't think that's true. Is it? That's not true.
Is it 40? Well, I mean,
the base amount is $450 over 10, so that's $45 a year. I think he's trolling us.
Who knows?
He'll have to come on here and let us know his math, because I'm not sure where he's going with that. Oh, and I just closed out of our review. I was supposed to read the review.
Oh.
Let me get the review back up real quick. It takes 2 seconds. It's another 5-star review, and he says, it says Mama Labs. This is from Mama Labs. Super amazing podcast with the best host. Highly recommended.
Nice.
And he says the best host. It's singular.
Oh.
Well,
was that my episode or was that your episode?
He said he listened to the most recent one, which was the Chris Sims blasting. So that was both of us. I mean, I'm going to chalk that up to a mistype.
Yeah.
I think he meant hosts. He definitely meant hosts. I'll have to get back with him and see if he can edit that review or not. I don't know if you can edit reviews. Or just give us another review. Just keep the reviews coming. Just use a different account. That'd be great.
There you go.
We're going to keep it rolling. Brandon Combs coming in. How long did it take Buckheister to divide 400 by 10? I'll set the over-under at 10 hours. See, but they got calculators on phones now. So, it could have taken only a couple of seconds, I would bet. But that's if Michael knows that the calculator is there. Oh, boy. What is Dak going to ask for now? Coming from David Timmons.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit of Dak and who's in the better position right now. I think that's an easy question, but Dak is sitting in a better position, and the Cowboys front office waiting. It kind of backfired here, but we'll talk about that in detail as we move forward. But first, we have to give a little bit more detail. The Fantasy Football League, because we're already a couple minutes into this. The Fantasy Football League is official. You have to follow the OOTF family group page, which is available to you via link, I believe, right on the On and Off the Field Facebook page. And you have to be a part of that group because that's where all the details will be flowing in about the Fantasy Football League. It is going to be $20 buy-in for the league. That's official. It was voted on by a couple people in that group. $20 that goes to charity. The current charity is the Boys and Girls Club of America. Feeding America is also another option if you would like to donate more money to that. Both links are on onandoffthefield.com. And yeah, we don't have a date set, but we will figure it out. Don't worry. All that information will be given to you through the OOTF family group page. So yeah, that is that. I just clicked a button. I hope nothing happens. I have like this side button on my mouse, and I don't know what it does. Michael comes in and says, it took me longer to find the math adder on my phone than typing. Yeah, that's if you don't know where to look. You have an iPhone, Michael. If you have an iPhone, I can help you next time. Send me a message. I'll lead you in the right direction. But I think we're ready to really get this show on the road. We're 10 minutes in. 10 minutes past the hour. I was listening to some shows tonight. They let you know what minute mark they're at. It's really professional. 10 minutes after the hour. And we are going to move on to the other sports. All of those other sports. There's really not a lot to do with other sports. We're going to try and get through this a little bit faster than we usually do.
Yeah.
But I have some grievances to air. The Brickyard 400 was this past... Sorry, comment section. This is bad radio. Make sure you're following and watching the live stream. It'll make a lot more sense to you if you're just listening to it on the RTF Sports Network on Spreaker. Denny Hamlin had a very big lead on the last couple of laps of the Brickyard 400 this past Sunday. And I really wasn't paying attention. I saw the little ticker at the bottom. I kind of checked my ESPN app. Denny's in the lead. Denny's going to win. This feels great. Yeah, with 7 laps left, Denny Hamlin ended up losing a right front tire and crashed straight into the wall, and Kevin Harvick goes around for the win. So congratulations to Kevin Harvick. Good job. Congratulations. You won on a fluke. But, Denny Hamlin crashes into a wall, and he was just that close to getting his first ever Brickyard win. It's upsetting.
Yeah. Didn't get to kiss the bricks there.
No. That's always a really cool tradition. I don't know if they're allowed. Are they allowed to kiss the bricks this year? That seems like...
Oh, I don't know.
With this year being like the germaphobe year, you have to take the mask off.
You just drove all these cars over it, so... I don't know. That would be a good question to see whether or not you could find highlights to show that or not. I don't know.
It's always been a kind of a gross tradition. Are the bricks actually on the track? Is that the thing? They're actually driving over line. It.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be the one year that they wouldn't do it, but I could be wrong. I didn't watch it, obviously. I just saw the highlight of him crashing into a wall, and it broke my heart. That's all we got for NASCAR, except for Trump saying that NASCAR sucks, but we're not going to go there.
Nope.
Adam Silver has come out again, and this is repeating the point that I keep saying the past couple of episodes about we get closer and closer, and I describe it as getting cold feet. You know, the wedding date is getting closer. Are you actually going to show up, walk up to that altar? Adam Silver has come out and said that he is worried that if there are a high number of positive tests for coronavirus once the players arrive at the bubble, which I believe was starting today.
Yeah.
I think players are starting to fly down today and tomorrow. It would say get into the bubble in Orlando in quarantine, then the bubble could theoretically be popped and could lead to a second shutdown of the NBA season. Florida alone reported 7,347 positive cases today, bringing the state to over 213,000.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's a little rough down there.
Oof.
Yeah, big oof.
Yeah, we can. This is a hot take in the comment section. Michael Holmes comes in and says Adam Silver is not a smart human being. He says horrible commissioner. That's a hot take because I would say Adam Silver has been one of the best commissioners by far in past years. He handled the whole China thing as well as he could when LeBron James and Steve Kerr opened their mouths. Name one worse than Adam Silver. Roger Goodell.
Easy. Yeah. I was going to say Rob Manfred.
Whoever the NHL commissioner is, I don't know his name, but no one knows his name because that's how bad he is. And we're going to talk about NHL here in a second, but NBA players are coming out in high numbers, not crazy high numbers, but they're not going to show up. And this kind of leads to everyone knows that I'm showing us Spencer Dinwiddie. He tested positive. He's not going to end up going. They're testing the crap out of these people. But LeBron James is going. All the big names should be going unless there's some kind of positive case that comes through. But everything right now is looking like a couple of nobodies might not show up.
Right.
But it's really about the positive cases stated here. If it pops the bubble, we're not going to have a playoff season. And it really kind of makes you look and go, are they actually going to do it? Or are they going to get cold feet a couple days before the tournament starts and they bail? Oh, sorry, it popped, or we just don't feel like it's safe, and they bail on the project. So that kind of leads up to my follow-up question. It kind of seems like the NHL, somehow the NHL came out as the most unlikely sport to handle this pretty much perfectly. I'm not sure of the commissioner's name off the top of my head, but there have been 3 labor shutdowns in recent memory between the NHLPA and the NHL of not playing, not whatever. We've seen that a couple times with other sports, but between the NHL, that happens more often than any other sport. But they're starting camp July 13th, and they're going to put sticks on ice August 1st for the playoffs.
Yeah,
and there really hasn't been much else talked about. They're just going to do it. And it sounds like they're doing a great job. So the question itself is, what leagues do you think will happen /finish /continue /whatever? Gary Bettman. Yes, that's a name that no one knows because he does such a bad job. So we'll start off with the NBA. Do you think the NBA will continue its season /finish and crown a champion? And you can feel free to answer this in the comments section as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the NBA continues. I don't know if it finishes if this bubble doesn't stay secure. Like, I feel like that someone's going to get out, do something wrong, mess it up for everyone else, and the bubble's going to pop and they're going to shut it down. Like, I think you're going to get the continuation. I think we're going to start out like we want to, end of July. I just don't know if it's going to finish.
I feel like the NBA out of all of these, well, we're going to name a lot that are going to be fine, but out of kind of your 4 major sports, I feel like the NBA has the most likely chance to finish because they'll be done before, this quote unquote second wave is supposed to hit. technically it's supposed to be a shorter season.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to the comment section real quick, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Adam Silver, Michael Holmes says he lets politics get involved and LeBron makes all of his decisions. I don't know if that's entirely true because going back to the China thing, he definitely kind of left LeBron. He didn't leave LeBron out to dry, but they definitely took different stances on the whole situation. All the leagues, Michael Buckheiser comes and say the NBA is a player-ran league. All of the leagues are player-ran these days.
Yeah,
let's be completely honest. It has shifted heavily towards the players in pretty much every league, maybe except NHL. That's kind of still a back and forth. They're still working out some kinks there in the NHL. But NFL is heavily player-ran. NBA is very, very heavily player-ran.
Yeah.
They can just say, I want to go to Miami. And guess what? The decision happens, and LeBron James goes to Miami. Hey, Kevin Durant, where do you want to play? I just want to go play with the team that's already the best in the league and make them even better. Okay, go ahead. Have fun. It's heavily player favorite over there in the NBA. The question I pose is if they're going to October, what do they do with their next regular season? I believe Adam Silver was looking for a Christmas start date.
Yep.
If I remember, because they haven't talked about it in a while. They're just trying to take care of now.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I think they were trying to get a Christmas start time back when they were first talking about it.
Yep. I think that's the tentative plan. I know back a couple months ago when everything shut down, they were getting ready to restart, get a plan together to restart. I know this is kind of working into Adam Silver's plan as wanting to shift the season entirely so that you're not so much overlapped with the NFL, the NHL, more kind of giving more competition against MLB numbers for like TV ratings and attendance,
which they would win.
Well, right. So I think that's their plan. I think right now, have a longer shift it back. Maybe it continues to get shifted back years to come.
Interesting. So you think they might stick with that? NCAA sports coming from Michael Holmes. NCAA sports are not happening. That's a straight up fact. That there's no possible chance there's any NCAA sports. No.
Yeah,
college.
it's pretty slim. It's pretty slim to none. It's going to be real tough just to try and get them any colleges on board for anything safe.
Michael says to shut our mouths.
Oh,
sorry. No, there's no chance. Sorry, I hate to be the Debbie Downer. I try to be positive about every sport happening. I try to be on the positive side, but when it comes to college kids, and these happen on campuses, I just don't see that happening at all. But continue with our question: whether the leagues happen or if they finish or continue. Major League Baseball players like King Felix and David Price already said they're not going to play. So we're kind of looking at, a lot of stars are going to drop out of the MLB season. Do you think they're even going to get started, to be completely honest? Even if they do, are they going to crown a champion?
I think it's going to start, and I think they're going to make a push to I'm going to say halfway through the season, it might fall apart.
I think there's a lot of minor league players looking for jobs.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think if star players drop out, whether it's now, beginning of the season, middle of the season, whatever the case may be, there's people looking for jobs. All the minor leagues were canceled. They'll definitely put players on the field, but at some point, player safety might become a concern after they start traveling. I don't think they even make it to the playoffs. This season is cut very short, and everyone's upset again. That's my take. The NHL, I think they finish. I think they can just run the table. They seem like gritty people. I think they'll have the season, and they'll finish up, and they'll crown a Stanley Cup champion.
I completely agree. And I think what's going to help them is they have two bubbles. They have Toronto and Edmonton are their two hub cities to get this season done and the playoffs played out. I think that's going to work for them. Yeah.
They really handled this well. And yes, that was the West is playing in Edmonton.
Edmonton, yep.
And then the East teams are playing in Toronto.
Yep.
And it'll just be when it gets to the point of the finals, they'll have to travel a little bit. But I'm sure it's a lot easier to travel 2 teams than 20 teams, however many they have.
Exactly. Yep.
So they've handled that very well. As we continue praising the NHL for the first time ever, we praise the NHL for something. The NFL season, oof! What happens to the NFL season?
I think it happens.
Okay.
I'm still being
in its entirety.
Yes, I think I'm still optimistic about it. It could get rough, but I think the NFL has had this much time to figure out something and to get these protocols figured out. I think it happens, and I think they're going to finish the season, and we're going to have a Super Bowl champion.
My concern is the second wave. The middle of this season has to go through the second wave of the virus. If it happens, as predicted from hundreds of doctors, holy crap, Derf is Fred backwards. Oh, he figured it out all these months later. The code has been cracked.
So the code has been figured out.
It's over. For those who don't know, the co-host of On and Off the Field, Derf, his real name is Fred. Derf is just Fred backwards.
Yeah.
And when we had our bowling league, we called him Derf Gun, like Nerf Gun. That was his other nickname that we had for him. Yeah, good job, Michael. You figured. So proud of you. So NFL, they have to get through that second wave. I don't know. I think they will finish the season, but I don't think the Super Bowl will be on February 2nd or 3rd or whatever the date usually is.
I think it might be a little later.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to shut down, push it back. I think they might have like a summer Super Bowl or at least a spring Super Bowl.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah.
NASCAR. I don't think NASCAR should have any issues. They'll be fine.
No,
right?
they finish.
Same thing with golf.
Yep, I think they finish too.
Yeah, and then Major League Soccer. I put a question mark because we don't know a lot about Major League Soccer, but they're starting up again right now.
Yeah, they're starting up now. I think you're similar to. I think MLS is going to be fine. It's a lot less players on the field at a time. Like, you're not intentionally trying to hit each other. So, excuse me, I think MLS will be okay.
I think so too. I mean, at the end of the day, just don't let fans in.
Mm-hmm.
They have players on the bench. It's another one of those sports where minor leaguers will get their chance if teams are two teams have already pulled out of the MLS restart. Did not know that coming from Strikeout Beer.
This is why we don't talk about MLS.
This is why it's in the other sports concept, because we don't know jack about MLS apparently. 2 teams have pulled out. Well, alrighty then. I think they're still having the season, but they're going to be 2 teams short. Wow. Yeah. Same thing Michael said. MLS teams are pulling out. I did not know that. So thank you all for letting me know. And then going back to Michael Holmes, he says, I think this is probably in reference to maybe all the sports. Look at the revenue loss: parking tickets, food, beer, memorabilia, TV contracts, plus no employees working.
Mm-hmm.
That's the risk. This is why, this is what baseball showed us. Yeah. This is what the owners feared. This is why they wanted some games to try and lose as little as possible on the season.
Right.
And this is the logistics that people have to worry about. And these are the kinds of logistics that I can't even fathom personally. If you're going to try and hold games in your stadium but have no revenue coming in except TV contracts, it's a mess. Mm-hmm. And I do not envy the person that has to deal with that. Can't do a summer Super Bowl, says Muggle, and then pick it up after the fall. Not enough rest. It might be another situation where they push the season off. They might shorten a season. I mean, you could always just cancel the preseason. That saves you a month.
Yep.
Lots of possibilities there. But is that all we had for other sports? I
believe so. Yeah.
All righty. So if we finish up other sports, that means we can talk about something that we actually know stuff about. The NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm going to flip you around on our notes here because we're going to be bringing in Michael Buckheiser to talk about fantasy football along with Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
But before we bring him in, so we don't have too much of a... Sorry about that.
Is that me or you?
No, it was me. I hit my mic stand because I got the Italian thing going on where I wave my hands and I hit things. I'm sure that sounded great on radio. As we approach the midway point of this show, this is On and Off the Field with Derf and Dylan on the RTF Sports Network. Live. Hey, I did it.
Nice.
I did it. I remembered. I just thought that. So we're like 30-minute mark right now on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But just one quick thing before we talk about Patrick Mahomes is Deshaun Jackson.
Oof.
Oh, boy. What a guy. Let me pull up Instagram real quick, and I can show you what we posted on the On and Off the Field Facebook Instagram page, which was, I think I actually posted that on the RTF Sports Network page. Deshaun Jackson posted, he highlighted something in a book, and it said Hitler said. I don't know if he actually said this. Some people said they didn't say this. Whatever. Hitler said, because the white Jews knows that the Negroes are the real children of Israel, and to keep America's secret, the Jews will blackmail America. They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they were. Why in God's green earth would Deshaun Jackson ever post this for the world to see?
Yeah, that's an odd one. It's just
what? I'm just flabbergasted that he would. I know Deshaun Jackson might not be the brightest bulb in the box or whatever the sayings might be, but my goodness, that's just astonishing. And the Eagles came out and they just basically said we're very disappointed in him. That's absolutely crazy that he would do that. Sorry, I'm drinking Sam Adams. This is just their regular old lager. Are you drinking anything?
Oh, I have Southern Tier live session with me today.
Southern Tier's got good stuff.
Oh yeah, I got the overpacked variety pack.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Derf is a basic white dude. We both are.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm more basic. But it's just me. As Michael pointed out here, the Eagles cut Riley Cooper back in the day after he went to some kind of sporting event. It might have been a baseball game or a NASCAR event. Basically got caught on camera calling someone the N-word multiple times. It was a disaster for him. So they end up cutting him. They ended up putting Riley Cooper on the Black History Month of their team calendar the next season. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
I still remember that. They cut him, and it must have been too late, and they put Riley Cooper on the Black History Month portion of their calendar. It was hilarious, but that's besides the point. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Deshaun Jackson if they cut him to try and save some face. They already said they're disappointed in him. Deshaun Jackson made another post saying he's sorry and that he has love for everybody. This is a blatant post. Like this is very straightforward.
Right.
He posted something that Hitler might have said, but if it says Hitler next to it, guess what? You don't post it. You don't put yourself anywhere in the same realm of Hitler. You just don't. Michael Buckheiser says, post the pic. I already did on Instagram. You can find the picture.
No, he's saying Deshaun. So he's saying Deshaun Jackson took the time to highlight, take said pic, then post said pic on social media. So that was 3 different actions he took where he could have been, hey, maybe this isn't the right thing to be putting on here. But Deshaun Jackson might not have the right set of mind right now. That maybe this is where we're seeing the real Deshaun Jackson, and it's really disappointing. So I'm glad the Eagles are very disappointed in him right now.
I mean, he's in quarantine, so I guess he's bored. I don't know. He's been doing too much reading the wrong books.
Something.
Michael Holmes says he hasn't been relevant in 5 years. He's just trying to get his name back in media. I mean, it's kind of true, but that's not the way you want to do it.
No,
that's
a quick way to get out of them, get out of relevance.
Just go get in a bar fight or something, just go punch somebody. I mean, people fight all the time. At least you're not racist at that point. I mean, now you're a blatant racist against Jews. Excuse me. I was just shocked. I woke up this morning and I was just blown away. Had to get that out there. But we're ready to talk some of the main portions of this podcast episode. Yeah. And let me tell you, we're going to finish very strong on this show because we're going to talk Patrick Mahomes. And then later, we're going to talk fantasy football quarterbacks and give them a little ranky rank, give them a little boom or bust. Yeah. It's going to be great leading up to our actual fantasy football draft of on and off the field. Mm-hmm. So we shall do the honors of bringing in Michael from the Mike and Mike Man Hour. Welcome to the show, Michael.
What is up, guys? I've been enjoying the show so far. I mean, it's been pretty live. I mean, I guess you guys put my name out there, and everybody wants a little piece of the Buckmeister, huh? Okay.
Well, when you have a show that used to be called Just for Clicks, I mean, it's going to grab some attention. I think that might have been the point, though.
Right. Get that out of here, Bug.
You've done a great job, but now the rebranded Just for Clicks, the Mike and Mike Man Hour,
right?
Triple M. I like the name of the show, and I like your graphics too. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Mike Reeves definitely hook us up there, man. He did a great job.
Nice. Mike Reeves of Twist Sports Nation. Another great RTF show.
Overrated.
Overrated. If you had to rank RTF Sports Network shows, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Michael Holmes is asking if you are in a prison cell.
I'm in the garage. Yeah. So, like, my wife kicks me out and like in the garage to do the podcast and stuff like that and the radio shows, just because we get a little animated, and we don't want to wake the kiddos up. So she kind of pushes me outside and says, "Go do your thing and have some fun." So it's kind of like my man cave. I got a big old TV over there to watch, Sports Center and whatnot. I got my little memorabilia from my college playing days up there, and of course, you guys don't realize
I was just gonna say,
what is that? Super Bowl champions.
Speaking of the Super Bowl champions, as you struggle to put the hat back up there, that's fine. No one saw it. We have to talk Patrick Mahomes.
Let's talk about him.
I mean, of course, he's extended through 2031 or 2032, something like that. He is 12 years. He's technically still going to be with the team. $503 million total, including incentives. $477 million in guarantee mechanisms. I mean, when you saw the notification come across, if my memory serves me, they signed a $10-year deal. That's the first thing I saw, and I was like, holy crap, 10 years. That's, oh my God.
Right.
So numbers start going through my head. What's the numbers going to be? And then the numbers drop. It was 400 first, and then it was 450. And then they're like, well, don't forget the incentives, 503. They're like, holy crap, we eclipsed $500 million.
Right. So first things first.
Your reaction.
First things first is do not wrap your head around that $500 million deal, because it is a 10-year deal. Actually, I've heard it is a 12-year deal. So it has been like anywhere from a 10 to a 12-year deal, and from I believe the lowest amount I saw was $427.5 million up to 503. So it is all kind of depending on who you're listening to right now, who you're talking to. But this comes to no surprise to me, because last season, when the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game, that very next week, word came out that the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes were working on a very, very long-term deal. At that point, they were saying 15-year deal. So, I mean, if you were from the Kansas City area, like, this is no surprise to you. Now, yes, I was a little shocked. I'm not going to lie, because of the fact that, damn, 10 years mean like the years are kind of skewed, because he still has 2 years left on his deal. and it's supposed to be a 10-year extension. So from my understanding, they'll probably pick up his 5th-year option for the $24.5 million that he's owed for his 5th-year option, and then 10 years on top of that. So I believe that extends him out to 2033. So I'm not 100% sure how that works out, but I ain't mad about it. Like I said last night on the show, the Kansas City Chiefs got a steal. You know, they are locking up the face of the, like, let's be honest. When you think of the NFL right now, you think of Patrick Mahomes, right? A guy like I do. So you have locked up the face of the NFL for 12 more years at a, yes, it may seem high, you know, if the numbers are correct, you know, 503 for 10 years. What's that, like $45.6 million or something to that effect? Or sorry, 45 or $46 million. So I mean,
a lot of money.
Well, but if you look at the market now, the next free agent quarterback is always the next highest paying quarterback, right? I mean, first you had Matthew Stafford, like he was like $99 million, and you had Matt Ryan, $103 million. You had Russell Wilson, Dylan, your boy, you know, $105 million or whatever like it was. You had Jared Goff for $110.
Long shot now.
Well, but like I'm saying, you know, every year it's been increasing, and you look at two major quarterbacks that are getting ready to come up for free agency, Lamar Jackson being one, and Deshaun Watson for the Houston Texans. These are both ascending quarterbacks, and arguably the franchise's, you know, leader, the face of the franchise, and they're going to want $45, $46, $47 million. So you lock up at Patrick Mahomes at, let's say, $45 million a year for the next 10 years. That is a steal, because he could easily have got 50, 55, if not $60 million when it was all said and done.
And that's my concern. Well, not my concern. Obviously, I don't have any concerns about Patrick Mahomes' financial stability at this point. What I was hoping to see, and I think this might have just been like only the football nerds really give a crap about this, and it's only the more analytic people that cared. I wanted to see a percentage contract, because the cap space goes up every year. So Patrick Mahomes always accounts for, I don't even know what the actual number would be, 35, 40% of the cap space. So as the salary cap increases, his bonuses or his initial contract amount, whatever it is, he gets more money every year. So he's virtually the highest paid player until his contract's up. He just keeps getting more and more. But the Chiefs never really end up losing out, because all he does is get more money, but he still accounts for the same amount of cap space moving forward. So it doesn't really hurt the Chiefs in a cap space way. They always know how much money they're going to have to put towards other people, as long as they understand, you know, how much the cap space is increasing.
I see what you're saying, but why should the players make more money as a cap increases? Like, hey, you signed a contract for $45 million a year. I don't care that I now have $500 million to play with. And I got to be careful of the numbers that I throw out, because Wayne from Infinity Sports is going to blast me. And
like, he'll get you.
But like I'm saying, like, so just because at my job, like, I make $80,000 a year, and then the cost of living, it goes up. I mean, like, my company doesn't have to pay me more money because it costs me more to like live. Yeah, it is nice, but they don't have to. So
right.
But also what people are failing to like understand is they see this big $500 million contract. How much of that is going to be a signing bonus? $100 million, $125 million signing bonus, and like how much of that is going to be backloaded? So like saying, like, if God forbid he gets injured and the last 3 years of his contract he can't play, you know, like, that might be $60 million like a year that he's missing out there, because the contract was backloaded. So obviously he is going to get paid and get paid well. But so like the numbers I was throwing out last night was $40 million, because I was hearing that everything was going to be, most of the money was going to be in signing bonus there. So most of it guaranteed cash. So then he was only getting like $35 to $40 million a year to help the team sign bigger players like, you know, Tyreek Hill's coming up. Chris Jones wants a contract. Jamal Adams wants to be traded. We can pick him up, you know. So it is very, very smart from the Kansas City Chiefs locking in their guy and then, you know, backloading or front loading the contract lock as well. NFL teams are going to take note and follow suit.
Yeah.
Derf, you got any main thoughts or questions?
I mean, I think one of the big things is that it's a 10-year contract, but they put in the no trade clause. Like we've seen it before. I think Eli Manning was one that was most noticeable with no trade clause. But Patrick Mahomes is putting a no trade clause in a 10-year contract. Like that's like, nope, I'm a Chief for life. I'm not going anywhere. You can't move me. You're gonna pay me until I can't play on that football field anymore. I'm gonna be here.
Right. Well, just like every other contract, very few NFL contracts are guaranteed cash. So let's say year 5, year 6, he sputters out and Chad Henne comes out of the woodwork and is starting Kansas City, starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's like a fun name.
and then Patrick Mahomes happens to get cut. That's not guaranteed cash. I mean, that is the problem with the NFL is that there is no guaranteed cash. In the NBA, that is why we're seeing Kevin Durant sit out a full season for an Achilles injury, that he had last season. So he's been sitting out for 2 years almost now, and he's still getting $235 million. So, I mean, that is the difference between the NFL and like Major League Baseball, which is guaranteed money, NBA guaranteed money. This is not guaranteed money. He might have a 10-year contract, but if he gets cut, he gets injured, that deal is gone.
Yeah.
I really want to know the entirety of the details of this contract because with it being 10 years and this much money, there has to be so many intricacies in there that I probably can't even comprehend.
I'm sure it's like you have to go to a Super Bowl like every year, win 15 games. It's
had to be stuff crazy in there.
5,000 yard passing like every season, which is doable for like Kansas City Chiefs offense. Like, let's be honest. So can I address a comment there?
Yeah. Which one?
Michael Holmes says no NFL player is worth signing more than 6 years max. I totally agree with that. I do not see another player in the NFL that is going to get a 10-year deal. I heard you guys talking about this earlier. This is going to be the new norm in the NFL. We talked about this last night on the Mike and Mike Man Hour, and LB brought up the fact that he thinks Lamar Jackson should get a 10-year deal. That is totally asinine. You are a scrambling quarterback that you are probably injury prone because you're consistently rolling out, getting your clock licked. You are lucky to get a 5-year deal, let alone 10 years. Yes, Lamar Jackson is probably going to get $45-46 million. I 100% agree. He deserves it. He is a good player in the months of September through December. So if the season gets pushed,
let's be specific
here. If the season gets pushed back, you're looking at 8-8 Baltimore Ravens season, guys. So let's be honest. So no player is worth this 10-year deal except for maybe, like a pocket passer like Patrick Mahomes, maybe Jared Goff, maybe somebody like Tua even, if he performs like people think he because he's a pocket, who's the other, a Steve Young type S quarterback, smart, protects himself.
Yep.
And I think that's, I don't want to see this as the norm. I would love to see maybe because another comment here, David Timmons says Trevor Lawrence might be the next 10-year deal. You can make all the assumptions in the world or any guesses, but the person has to perform. I think so too. I don't disagree with you there, but you have to let a guy play out for 3 or 4 years before you can even start making assumptions about 10-year deals. You can't sit here and say Lamar Jackson's going to get a 10-year deal because he's only played 2 seasons and really only 1 to somewhat of a success.
Yep.
Just because he plays really well doesn't mean he's getting a 10-year deal.
Success, though?
Well, just playing well. I mean, obviously he doesn't have playoff wins. Patrick Mahomes, this was his first. He won playoff games last year, won the Super Bowl this year. So it's just kind of following the timeline of Patrick Mahomes. If Lamar Jackson next season comes out and wins a playoff game, maybe gets the AFC Championship game, and then loses, and then next year he wins the Super Bowl. Right. It's just following in the same footsteps of Patrick Mahomes. Does he get the 10-year deal then? We can't say because nobody knows. This is what we don't like to do on our show personally. It might make for a boring show, but we don't like to make too many assumptions into the future. Will Lamar Jackson get a 10-year deal after he wins the Super Bowl in 2 years?
Is I don't know. No, he's not, because he is a mobile scrambling quarterback. You can say the same thing about Vic. I believe he signed as a 6 or 7 year deal, if I'm not mistaken, when he was with Atlanta, and that was unheard of. And a couple years later, stuff happened. Yada.
I think that was cut short for different reasons.
but still, do you think Michael Vick would have stayed healthy playing the way he was playing? Highly doubt it. We see a quarterback like Cam Newton. He's like 260, 6'5". And he is consistently hurt because, let's be honest, scrambling quarterbacks get hurt. Lamar Jackson is not going to get a 10-year deal because he's a scrambling quarterback right now. Now, if he learned how to pass and add that scrambling ability in when needed, maybe.
Yeah, that playoff game was hard to watch. However many
great
60-plus pass attempts. That was disgusting. One last part on this is just kind of where we already hit on it a little bit, so maybe we don't have to go into too much detail, but just kind of where Dak Prescott is sitting. He's kind of sitting in a little bit better scenario, but
is he
Cowboys front office that has.
I don't think he is.
You don't think so?
I think he's in a worse situation because he's not anywhere near as good a quarterback as Mahomes is. Facts. And the Cowboys are going to be like, you know what? See you later.
Yeah,
I mean, that's definitely a possibility that they tell him see you later. And I do think that's what happens after this season. But if he performs, if he does perform and they want to sign him, I mean, that puts the Cowboys front office in a very poor situation. If they say goodbye to him, then yes, that's fine. He'll go sign somewhere else that's quarterback hungry, like maybe Pittsburgh. That's my spot. But yeah, it depends on how the season goes.
The problem with Dak Prescott is he has a backup that is more than capable of taking his spot and doing better with less. Because we've seen Andy Dalton in Cincinnati. Who did he have around him? AJ Green. That's about it, right? For 7 years.
That's
there. Yeah. So I mean, you put him in a situation
wait. He had Giovanni Bernard. Come on.
Okay, for one season, right? Well, and he also had that running back that the Browns traded off because he had like a
there wasn't another loser in there. Yeah, whoever that was.
Any white guy running the ball besides Christian McCaffrey is not going to have a very good career. Let's just be honest there. Name one.
Peyton Hillis. Yeah, he had one good year, right?
But the reason why Dak Prescott is in a worse situation is because the deal that I'm seeing right now for Patrick Mahomes is 10 years, $427 million. That breaks down to roughly, $41.9 million like a year. If my math is correct, Dak Prescott's asking for $45 million. How many playoff games has he won?
Yeah, right.
0.
But I think.
Did they make the playoffs last year? No, they had to win one game versus a division rival. They couldn't do it. Put the ball in his hands. He fumbled it. So, I mean, Dak Prescott's definitely in a worse situation. He signed the franchise tender, and I think the Cowboys are looking to move him now because they do have Andy Dalton back there. There are teams out there that need quarterbacks. Las Vegas Raiders, L.A. Chargers, Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to say that I'm not sold on Garner Minshew whatsoever.
You watch your mouth. Don't worry. We just think it's fun.
I would say Chicago Bears probably are looking for a quarterback lock as well because Nick Foles is great in Eagles or green. Everywhere else he is below average. So I mean there are 5 or 6 teams right there that I know that you could service as a quarterback, and the Cowboys would probably take a second round pick for him easily.
Well,
yeah,
I could definitely see any of those possibilities happening. But we say congratulations to Patrick Mahomes as we spend the last couple minutes here we got on the show on fantasy football. And real quick before we kick you off. Give me your top. Let's do your top 3. No, that's not fun because that's probably too easy. Let's give me your top 5 fantasy quarterbacks.
Top 5 fantasy quarterbacks. So this is fantasy, guys. So this is all about points. This is all about
let's be clear.
Putting the balls in the hands, right? Number 1, I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson, Houston Texans. I think he has a breakout season. He proves that Hopkins is definitely a number 1 receiver, but he is still the guy there. He is a born winner. I believe before he got to the NFL, he lost like 5 games ever from Pop Warner through high school and college. So Deshaun Watson's going to score a lot of points there. Number 2 is going to be Lamar.
Number 1.
Yeah, he is my number 1.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure I heard that right. Okay.
If he is available in the 3rd round, I'm picking him up 100%.
All right.
So next up is going to be Lamar Jackson. Because let's be honest, he scores a lot of fantasy points. He scrambles, he scores touchdowns, he throws the ball good 50% of the time down the field, and when he does throw the ball down the field, it's usually a touchdown. So he is going to be number 2. Number 3 is going to surprise people, I think, besides Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford. He is, consistently consistently scoring me 20 points in my keeper league.
He's also consistently hurt.
Not this year. I mean, he is on a contract year too. So keep that in mind.
That's
everybody,
true.
Everybody normally plays better on contract seasons. Number 4. Okay. This is kind of a sleeper reach pick here because it basically all depends on the Cowboys front office. Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton's going to have a great season too. He is going to be a steal. He is going to be a sleeper pick. People are going to pass on him much like they did. So I picked up Patrick Mahomes when he was a rookie in a keeper league. I'm riding sky high now.
So for life.
Yeah. And then of course my number 5 is Patrick Mahomes because that Kansas City Chiefs offense is going to probably score 28, 35 points every game. Usually in the second quarters is when they score those 28 points all through the air. So those are going to be my top 5. Yes, I know Patrick Mahomes is number 5, and he is my boy. He is the best quarterback in the NFL, but it's not in fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy is a much different world. So go ahead and give yourself a 30-second plug before we kick you off.
All right, guys. So Mike and Mike Man Hour is officially launched. We are on our Facebook page. Head over to Mike and Mike Man Hour. We are live Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. East Coast time on Facebook Live and YouTube. And, of course, we are on our RTS Sports Network as well at noon East Coast time, Monday through Friday. Also, we're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card for every 500 likes that we get on the Facebook page. So to register for that, all you have to do is like the page, share the live feed, and become a top fan. That gets you entries into that drawing. So every 500 likes.
Go do it, folks.
Yeah, do it.
Well, thanks for being on, and we'll have you back at some point.
Always, brother. Have a good night, guys.
See ya.
All right. And as we start wrapping up the show, let's go through our top 10.
Yeah.
I'll plow through here. I actually have Deshaun Watson blew my mind. I had no idea he was going to go.
A little bit, yeah.
I just don't trust that wide receiving core to stay healthy. And Deshaun could work with whatever he has probably, but I think his numbers will get a little bit lower with the talent that is out there. Okay. I have Lamar Jackson first overall. I just think he's a beast. Legs, touchdowns, deep passes. He's a 15-win season kind of regular season quarterback that can just dump points.
Yep.
I got Patrick Mahomes at number 2. Russell Wilson at number 3. I really think they have a great wide receiver core going into this season. DK Metcalf in his sophomore year. Tyler Lockett's a beast. You got Philip Dorsett, maybe Josh Gordon if he comes back, if he gets reinstated. I'm excited, but that depends on the offensive line though, which could definitely hurt his rankings. Yeah, AB is not coming to Seattle. No, I will protest. I have Kyler Murray at number 4. I just love that air raid offense and so much potential for points out of Kyler Murray. I have Deshaun Watson at 5. I still give him his respect, Deshaun Watson. He's at number 5. I got Aaron Rodgers at 6. He just seems to figure it out every year. He's a consistent number 1 quarterback. He doesn't throw interceptions. He's a really great point scorer. I have Dak Prescott at 7. I don't love it, but if he does start out the whole season, he'll get the points. I have Josh Allen at 8. He's a dual threat. Drew Brees at 9, always scoring a bunch of touchdowns and has just passing yards up the yazoo. And Tom Brady at 10 with his brand new wide receiving core and tight end core and just everything core. He's got a great team down there. A lot of potential to score 1 billion points.
Yeah. So for number 1, I agree with you. I have Lamar Jackson. Number 2, I actually went with Russell Wilson number 2, just because the Seahawks rely on him so much when they're down a score or so, and it's kind of the end of the game. Like, he's going to put the points in fantasy up a lot more, I think, consistently than some other quarterbacks. Number 3, I went Patrick Mahomes. And it's kind of similar, like Michael said, this offense is for Kansas City. High points every game. You're going to get that consistently 20, 25 points a week from him because you know what you're going to get from him. 4, I went with Deshaun Watson. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he's had some good times, good plays, good games, but I worry a little bit about some of those bad games. Number 5, I want Josh Allen. I think the dual threat, like you mentioned, is his strength. See what year 3 brings. Number 6, I went Kyler Murray. I think he's a second-year quarterback. He's gonna jump up that rank there. Number 7, I went with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron just gets it done. He's a consistent quarterback year in, year out for Green Bay for the most part. Number 8, I went with Dak Prescott. As much as I don't like him, he puts up the points when that running game's there, and they don't have to lean on him too much. He can get stuff done. And then number 9, I go Drew Brees because Drew Brees is going to set some new benchmark for a record this year, going out, leaving the NFL.
Breaking records.
I think he's got all of them, but there's probably one more to break. And then last but not least, Tom Brady, because Mr. Consistent will get you those high teens, boy, I bet.
And then just a real quick, a boomer bust, kind of a sleeper thing here. Mm-hmm. My booms / sleepers. I got Drew Lock for one of them. They got him a bunch of toys. If it pans out over there as everyone is kind of predicting, he will put up a boatload of points. Yep. And then I put Tyrod Taylor / Justin Herbert, whoever gets to start. Mm-hmm. That offense over there they got studs. They got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry if he stays healthy. Austin Eckler is a great dump down kind of guy. Mm-hmm. It's a really good offense with a really good defense. I think both of their play styles could fit into that system. My busts, do not touch them. Ryan Tannehill, that's pretty easy. Winston takes over and leads them for the Saints, as Michael had. Jameis Winston is a very good sleep candidate. Could be a good handicap to pick up. Drew Brees went down and Teddy Bridgewater did his thing. Jameis Winston could be next. Ryan Tannehill, do not touch him. And Jimmy G, do not touch him. Jimmy G, after losing Emmanuel Sanders, is going to hurt him a lot. Do not go towards Jimmy G.
Yeah, so for my boom, I kind of agree with you with Drew Lock. I think the Denver Broncos did what they needed to do to support him. And then my other sleeper is Teddy Bridgewater. I think him going to Carolina, he's shown the 5-0 when Breeze went out. I think he's going to make the next step again for the Panthers. For Bus, I agreed with you on Ryan Tannehill, but also do not touch Derek Carr. I think he's going to struggle. I wasn't going to. I think he's going to struggle, and you're going to see Marcus Mariota there after 4 games.
Completely agree. Completely agree on Derek Carr. Completely agree on Mariota. Mm-hmm. And that's all the time we have for our show. So thank you all for tuning in. Loved all the comments we had. Loved all the interaction. That's how we do it here on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you're following and you're sharing and you're subscribing. Do all of those things. And, make sure you come back next Tuesday as we continue our fantasy football talk, and hopefully a lot more great content flows throughout the week. And also you can listen on Friday, 11 to 12. Mm-hmm. And as we sign off, as always, the number 1 fantasy quarterback throughout the entire realm.
All hail the Jockstrap King.